So the guy that does my hats, he got offered $600 like 3 days ago for me to spit in a jar and sell it. That is revolting. Like that's just disgusting, is it not?
That's crazy.
And I was like, should I do it? And I was like, oh,
Just like pour water in it.
Yeah, they would
Fucking
never
send
know.
it. Yeah.
But
That's like the OnlyFans girls that fart in jars.
and sell it.
And sell them. But they're actually
Precisely.
fart in jars.
Yeah, or they're dirty drawers. That's
Yeah.
just disgusting.
It's crazy. Yeah, I wonder, like, I bet there's a lot of creeps that are trying to, like, message you and be around you and stuff. But also, I think majority of people just can't mean.
Oh yeah.
And like I was
Testing, testing.
that,
Oh,
just take
okay. Okay, 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 okay. Mm, that's crazy what we got going on. I gotta grab a couple things, but then let me go. Actually, will be coming with me. We actually are live. The stream is about to start. I don't know which cards to put out front, honestly, for today. I don't. I mean, if I have some of those players that were traded, maybe that would be like something smart to put out. Because that is what we are about to talk about for tonight, for today. We're going to talk about the trades. We're going to talk about the movement. We're going to talk about, well, we're going to talk about all sorts of fun stuff. It's not weird. Mm. What I'm most interested in, I think, I mean, I really like this. I mean, because there's a lot of players that they're like that one cup, a cup, or multiple cups with their team, and that have left that said team, and now that they've left said team, they're just a lot less, a lot less popular. And I think losing that popularity can honestly, it can thrash certain teams. I mean, when they fall out of favor, out of the out of the limelight, that can definitely be very very difficult for teams to have. About to go live in a little bit. About to go live in a little bit. All right. Excuse me, I gotta drink some water. Getting the field already and stuff. On my own headphones, I'll just hear myself. I'm echoing. I'll go live. I'll go live. I'll go live. I'll go live. Let's point it up way too high, way too high. So I put him down. So I put him down. Put him down, yeah, yeah. I put him down and I'm wearing the Coyote sweater. 'Cause I like the Yotes. I like the Coyotes. You know what? Where's my Coyotes? At the very top. Let's see which Coyotes I lost. Let's see which players. Let's see which. Oh, shoot. Oh, I don't have any Ducks. That is the Ducks. That's the Coyotes. Oh, man, we got a couple of cool cards. Oh, man, I mean, yeah, I'm happy. I guess I own them still, but I'm bummed that my Coyotes are gone. It's got these weird these spectrums. That's me. Ice Premieres. 53 out of 299. 32 games played, 1 goal, 2 assists. The 21-22 season. There's no way this dude's still with the organization. That's funny. Just such a poor player for the team. And you just get like your. Oh, man. The fun part about gambling for hockey cards, right? Is that you just get some players that. That's really funny, though. I. What allows you to get a card? That's actually a question that's a legitimate question, right? What do you have to do to get a card? What did this guy like do you have to play a certain amount of games in minor leagues, NHL? Do you have to be on a team for X amount of seasons? Because think about, I mean, for some teams, there's a decent amount of turn and burn, or there's like, oh, I'll call this rookie up, or excuse me, they'll call this minor league player up or something. And maybe they do well, right? Or maybe they're just nope, and then they just make them sit. Or they just sign a player and they're like, this player is bad. They're just gonna sit. What do you do then? What are you gonna do then? Schmaltzy, I'm pretty sure Schmaltzy's still with the team. Jacob Chikrin is not a Coyote no mo. And he actually just got traded again. Connor Garland. I'm over here just struggling ridiculously hard to try to get this card to actually focus, and it's just won't do it. All right, Connor Garland. Yeah, we did it! Yeah, we in this thing. Connor Garland. He was one of my favorite Coyotes. I remember when he was the Coyotes' best player. Arizona Coyote legend, Phil Kessel. Wow, if he would have played with the Penguins still. And you know it, Clayton Keller. I've been for just absolutely failing to show the rear of the cards. Clayton Keller. Clayton Keller looks like Frankie Muniz to me every single time they show him. Another Jacob Chicken. Chick Shady. Chick Shady. £200. So big. Hey, that's our rookie. We got the that guy. That's this guy right here. And Matthias Michelli. Ta-da! Those are all my Coyotes. Now, what we want to talk about tonight. What about those Panthers? Yeah. The Panthers. Panthers won the Stanley Cup. Of course, you knew that. If you were here, locked and loaded on my stream, you were here for the watch party. Watch party. Yeah, we had a great time. We had a great time with that NHL watch party. Now, let's get this ready. So I will just take this here, minimize that, big screen this. TSN trade tracker. Trade deadline. Go on TSN. Signing and trade tracker. Wow, there's a lot of stuff that happened. Oh my gosh, we got what? Oh man, these are gonna be so much fun to look through. These are all so crazy. I can't wait. This is gonna be so much fun for us to all look through. So, which team do we want to start with first? Because we got a lot of teams to look at for tonight. I'm not sure if there is a team that we should pick first. Do we just go in order? I think maybe going in order would be okay. These picks are kind of boring. There's a lot of them that were just draft picks because, of course, the draft has happened. And these are, oh man, Golden Knights just keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading. They just don't care. They just don't. They just keep doing the same thing. Turn and burn. That was during the playoffs. All right, I think I'm at a good spot. I think I'm at a good spot. Oh my gosh, there's just so many different things going on. So many signings. Dang, dang, dang. Man, I was almost gonna stop at the wrong spot. I'm glad I kept going. There's dang, dang, dang. June 25th. No, we don't care about June 25th. I just found it and then I lost it. Sorry. All right, and I'm kind of just gonna be touching on like, and not to offend. Well, who you know what? If it does offend you, whatever. You're probably new to the league, anyways. You're a hockey player. You should be able to take it. Anyways, so we're gonna go away from hockey card view, and we are gonna enter surf mode. All right, does this look good? I gotta check my stream. Gotta make sure it looks good. Surf mode. We surfing, we surfing. Dang it. The camera's slow. All right, we're good. So we got two things. We got the trade tracker and we got the free agency signing. I want to talk about the free agency signing first because there's a lot of extensions or signings that are fun to talk about. So let's start. Dude, I got a blanket, even though it's warm. I like blankets. They're comfortable. All right. So Max Domi right here. This right here are the Leafs staying with the Maple Leafs, trying to make a legacy like his dad. I'm Max Domi, and I got to knock out teeth. I don't like my teeth either. 4 years, 15 million, 3.75 cup. So one of the big things the Maple Leafs keep saying is we need more grit. We gotta grind through these hockey games, and we're not grinding. That's what's going on with the Maple Leafs, and so they're all mad and stuff that they're not scoring. You're not on the team no more. Yeah, you're on the team no more. You ain't on the team no more. This is a rare card, so I'll put it. They say that the Toronto Maple Leafs don't have grit, that they're getting pushed around, they're getting bullied, they're not able to get their pretty shots off in the playoffs, and that's one of the reasons why the Maple Leafs lose is because they're unable to make plays in the playoffs, and they're unable to keep pucks out of their net. So adding or keeping the grit around, apparently that's supposed to help. I would say this Timothy Liljegren one also here, keeping him around at 3 million apiece. So that I think they're seeing something from him, but they want to make sure that it's consistent, so that they know that they're going to be making a good investment. Because right now, I don't think it's happened, but there are a lot of rumors that Mitch Marner may go to Vegas. Now the Golden Knights keep playing turn and burn. And believe me, we're gonna be talking about turn and burn later in this. Yo, it's week caking. Thanks for everyone who's stopping by right now. We are talking about the free agency market that just opened up. And there were trades. There were signings. There's all sorts of things going on. And this is what we're talking about. So Liljegren, I like that. I think he can do well for the Maple Leafs. At the same time, that seems like a really hard thing. Sean Dursey for the Utah Yetis, Utah soon to be Yeti or Mammoth. We'll be calling them Yeti. So the Utah Yeti will be going lot. I'm upside down. I'm upside down. Ah! I'm upside down. I don't know why I'm upside down, everybody. We got technical difficulties. Can we cake and fix it? Webcam. Hold on, everybody. Believe this here. See what I can do. Can I flip myself? Can I not? Why am I flipped? I think I may have figured it out. I think I may have figured it out. Poodoo, poodoo, poodoo. Think I might, think I might, think I might, think I might. I think I figured it out. Because I'm here, and I'm right here, and you're right there. But where am I if you're not? I gotta turn off. Why turn on? Oh, turn on all these silly things. There we go. All right. As we get back into it, Sean Dursey. Hopefully my head's not cut off. No, my head's not cut off. All right. We end this thing. Shout out to the Ma for helping me realize I was flipped upside down. So as we talk about Sean Dursey, wow, is he great for the Coyotes when they were the Coyotes? The amount of potential that the Yeti are going to have is going to be insane. The Yeti is going to be a strong team. They're going to have all these players maturing at the right time, young players developing at the right time. They have all these picks that are just getting flung every which way. They're signing people left and right. I mean, when we talk about some of these players that they've signed, you're going to be like, that's insane. Patrick Kane staying with the Red Wings for 1 year at $4 million. 35 years of age, had hip surgery. Patrick Kane's just wants to play with people he likes. That's why he played with Panarin the year before in New York, and this is why he's choosing to play with DeBrincat in Detroit. Continuing to play with all original 6 teams, Patrick Kane is. You wonder what he's going to do next season. I mean, I know it's such a weird thing to do is just completely disregard a year. But in the sports world, it's all about planning, right? You have you you have a finite amount of opportunities to do this in your own lifetime, and even like if you're even in your management, right? So you're the general manager of a sports franchise. How long will that last? 5 years, 6 years, 20 years? It's so inconsistent, right? There's so many things that have to go right. So it's going to be interesting to see if Patrick Kane is just testing it out again, or playing with his players, or if he might retire at 36, man. He might be 37 the following year. Who knows, man? Reinhart for the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers signs 8 years by what is that? 8.63. So 8 years, $69 million $69 million contract. Sam Reinhart. Let's see if they're still able to have success. I mean, there's a lot of players that stayed at the Panthers that I'm sure they're going to still be able to get a lot of production out of. They did lose. There are a lot of veterans that are cashing out with other teams. It's perfectly all right. Panthers they'll be able to find the replaceable players that are just going to be able to take their shoes. I mean, don't get me wrong. They lost good players, but they're also aging players, and there are also some players that people could have said in the playoffs were large reasons for some of the blown leads and some of the poor play by the team in the playoffs. Let alone a full season, like the full season, right? So Michikov is coming over 3 years, 12 point sa 12.75 million, 950,000 cap. So he's on that entry level contract right now. Now this is crazy. Kulikov, that's a long time, but I guess if you can get him at like so ridiculously cheap, and even if you have to buy him out, it's not going to hurt you. You hope he does perform though. It's just the term. The term's just the one thing that could possibly bother a franchise. And these guys aren't that important, but it looks like the Capitals are getting a lot of players. Completely skipped over Jake Gensel. Oops. Jake Gensel! Jacob Gensel signs to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, of course, the heartbreaking trade from Pittsburgh, leaving Sidney Crosby has lost both of his kids, Connor Sherry and Jake Gensel. Jake Gensel gets traded at the deadline from the Penguins to the Hurricanes, right? So he gets from his team. He gets away from the man. The guy that made him, showed him hockey. And now he was sent to Carolina, to the Hurricanes, and played in the playoffs. I think they got to round 2. And then that was it for them Hurricanes. I don't think they got that far. But now, as a unrestricted free agent, he's signing with the Tampa Bay Lightning. 7 years, $63 million contract with a $9 million cap hit. Gensel got paid. Playing with Crosby helps. He's in no means a bad player. Let's just see him keep up this elite skill. We talked about Michikov, Kulikov. Capitals are loading up over here. Wool gets locked up for 3 more years at a cap hit of 10.98. So Maple Leafs keeping a goalie that they feel like is consistent. They pick up Chris Tanev too while they're at it for 6 more years. $4.27 million cap. I guess it's yawn night, right? I'm yawning for no reason. $27 million salary, the $4.5 million cap, 6-year contract, Chris Tanev. I believe he was a longtime Calgary Flame, and then he went from the Calgary Flames to the Dallas Stars, and now from the Dallas Stars, he's with the Maple Leafs. Now, I think they said he started with the Maple Leafs. I thought I saw I read a lot of media that said come back or welcome back. Tanev, a little shiver there. I'm all excited with this blanket and it being warm. But Tanev is going to be remarkably important for Toronto, right? Because the Toronto Maple Leafs are a team that's been ridiculed, yelled at, and completely embarrassed from their lack of defense. Their offense, great when it works. Your offense gets neutralized in the playoffs, and it's so recognizably different how poor your team can be if your offense isn't working and your defense isn't working. But wait, you want to know what's even more frustrating? When you're spending $40 million, which was more than half the cap at the time, on these 4 players, and I think still it might be over. It might be just half. I'm not sure if it's over. What are you going to do? You're paying $40 million on 4 forwards. Every other place is just kind of like, well, pull it together, guys. You're going to have to work to earn your contracts. They want to get extra performance out of a guy that doesn't have the ability to ask for a larger contract for in the end of the season or 2 seasons or something like that, where they can just work you. And at the same time, it is going to help you develop, but it can definitely take a toll on you. It can definitely take a toll on you. I need my water. Eric Johnson, I don't know if this was that first overall pick, 1 year, $1 million. how time takes care of us, right? Tyler Bertuzzi and Teuvo Teravainen signing with the Chicago Blackhawks. So the Blackhawks, they needed to do something. They needed to add some more players to their team. The Blackhawks have been a bare bones team since the Kyle Beach situation, which technically should still be going on, but whatever. 3 years for Teravainen, 4 years for Bertuzzi, 16.2 million for Teravainen at 5.4 million. Bertuzzi is at the 22 million at 5.5 million a season. That's locking up some decent players. I mean, Teuvo Teravainen definitely performed pretty decent for the Hurricanes for the first couple seasons with them, and then he kind of would flow in and out of being like a good usable target, right? He just fell out of favor for the most part. It wasn't anything important. So Bertuzzi and Teravainen, we'll see. I mean, it will be interesting to see if the Blackhawks actually score more goals and actually become more dangerous. And you wonder how fast a team like Chicago gets built, right? You just get Bedard. It will be his sophomore season this next coming season. Will Bedard actually be able to compete? Will Bedard actually be able to live up to, I don't want to say like live up to an expectation, but at the same time, live up to an expectation. Because, like, you know what I'm saying, man, like, Bedard, I feel like he he has just such hockey god potential, and it's just so scary. It's just so scary how good Bedard is. It really is. Bedard is so good. And if other lines start scoring besides his line, making a team have to cover other teams, other teammates, other lines other than your own more often, they're going to have to spread out, right? What wins in the playoffs is depth. The more players that you have on your team that are performing above their pay grade, that's essentially what depth is. As long as there's a salary cap, depth in this era just means that there are players on your team that are playing, that are competing at a higher level than they're getting paid. That's pretty much it. Yeah, we got depth. We just got players that are way better than what they're showing. Oliver Ekman-Larsson signing a 4-year, 14 million at 3.5 cap hit. Oliver Ekman-Larsson finally gets his name on the Stanley Cup, the long Arizona Coyote captain. Wins his first Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers. I'm very curious as to how many of those years what's going on? That was weird. Anyways, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, just ridiculous how proficient of a player that he is. But yeah, there was a lot of times you were seeing him falter in the playoffs, and especially in the Stanley Cup final. I think Oliver Ekman-Larsson's aging is only getting more and more apparent. 4 years is a lot of time for someone he's only 32. So, I mean, he'll be at 36, but he was just getting more and more difficult to trust. Even with the Panthers, when you'd watch him handle the ice or when you'd watch him get the puck stolen from him, Or when you had to guard somebody like Drysdale or McDavid, you're just like, oh my gosh, please don't get blown out of your skates. Don't get blown out of your skates. It's all I ask. Just don't get blown. Bruins, major signing, 7-year Elias Lindholm, $54.25 million at a $7.75 million cap hit. They got to replace their holes, man. The Bruins are struggling, I feel like, and they're trying to maintain their level of compete. Now, the Bruins are so interesting because I feel like they're trying to go more and more in right now to repair what has left. You've lost everything from like the 2010s decades. Pasternak, Marchand, they stuck around. Everybody else, maybe Carlo, everybody else for the most part, is a lot of new players on the team. The Bruins move through a lot of players, as do a lot of teams move through a lot of players. The Bruins, it also feels like it's just so many teams, so many players that just go all around. It's just way too much to deal with. Way too much to deal with. Now, Nikita Zadorov over here, $30 million at $6 million cap hit. That is an interesting signing right there. I don't think he's worth 6 years. I would not have signed this contract, but I see that's a lot of the NHL we talk about time and time again is just trying to plus and trying to get what it's worth. And sometimes, I'm gonna take out my headphones for a while. Sometimes you just gotta do things like make purchases or make signings. I'm gonna start lifting a weight. My eyes are tired for some reason. You just gotta start making these signings. You gotta start doing stuff, right? You gotta start making moves. I'm not sure if Zadorov is gonna be that player, right? I'm not sure if he's the one that can solve it. It will be interesting to see. No, the next thing that's kind of funny is you'll see that Stolarz, another ex-Florida Panther like Oliver Ekman-Larsson. So 2 Stanley Cup champions are going to the Maple Leafs now. Ooh, is that going to help them? Now, these are the major signings that we need to talk about. And we're going to take a lot of time on. We're probably going to take, maybe a remainder of the show. These contracts are nuts. Jonathan Marchessault, 5 years, $27.5 million and a $5.5 million cap hit, right? Golden Knights, Golden Boy, the Golden Knight. If there's anybody that, when you think Golden Knight, that exudes Golden Knight, it's Jonathan Marchessault. Conn Smythe MVP when they won the Stanley Cup last season, and now he's gone. William Karlsson, the last of the trio of the misfit line. The Golden Knights are continuing to move on from their identity, move on from the players that made them who they are. And you just kind of gotta start wondering what they're doing. I mean, it's just turn and burn. It's, hey, we're just gonna sign the younger guy. We're gonna trade a lot of resources because they're new and they can do that. We're gonna trade a lot of resources to get a younger version of you. So don't get me wrong, we like your skill, but you're just not the age we want for the image of our team. Golden Knights, they're going to get known for turning and burning so many players. The Golden Knights are gaining a reputation as a franchise that's not even going to tell you. They're going to tell you Like they told Marc-Andre Fleury that you're going to retire a Golden Knight. You come here, you'll retire a Golden Knight. Win a cup with us. Win cups with us. Marc-Andre Fleury. First overall draft pick. Goaltender. Pittsburgh Penguins. 2003. 2017. 2018. It's a Golden Knight. It is nuts what money will make you tell people. How you create your relationships, right? Business is also another crazy thing. I mean, Marc-Andre Fleury, as much as good as he did for the team, he did just as bad. He lost. I think the team lost. Every time the team lost the cup or lost a conference final, it was because the team quit believing in Fleury. Fleury in the cup final just started letting in a bunch of soft goals. So many soft goals that a S tier goalie wouldn't do. But unless Marc-Andre Fleury is floundering, it feels like he's not in God mode. If he's not sprawling around, it feels like his consistency is just a lot less. He's one of those goalies that makes highlight plays because he already puts himself in bad situations or gets deked or gets beat or something. That it just feels like a lot that happens way too much to him now. And it's really unfortunate to see. But he got lied to. Jonathan Marchessault, which looks like a very doable contract, just removed from the Golden Knights, right? It's hard to understand. It's hard to believe. I'm still processing it myself. My brother's a Golden Knights fan, and that's his favorite team. So I watch the Golden Knights so that I can talk to him about everything there is to know about the Golden Knights. I know, so I read about them. I watch stuff about them. I follow Golden Knights. So there's just so many things that I actually do in relation to keeping up to date with so many teams. Jonathan Marchessault just built that team. He was just the image of the team. They win the cup. But ever since the Golden Knights came into the NHL, right? They've been known as the franchise that's just going to upgrade. They're just gonna oh yeah, we'll trade first round picks like they're nothing to get Thomas Tatar, who I'm not even sure if he played every game. I think he maybe got scratched. Uh, he was legitimately so bad, so unrecognizable. It didn't really help out at all. The Golden Knights, though, like I said, Fleury hurt them, but it's what I was saying about Fleury. Fleury was promised that he was going to be a Golden Knight forever. Now, I'm not sure if Marchessault ever was told that, but I'm sure when he saw Riley Smith get traded last season, he probably knew that it was up. He's like, well, if one of us can go, none of us are probably safe anymore, right? That's the only thing that would make sense. None of us are safe anymore. And Marchessault is not. He left. Bye-bye, Marchessault. Steven Stamkos of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Also, 4 years, $8 million, $42 million cap hit. The first overall pick by the Tampa Bay Lightning just signed with the Nashville Predators. That to me is also insanity. You have this guy that just led a team to these Stanley Cups. And now you're just a standard player on a new team. You're an all-star. They know that. But you still got to introduce yourself to the room, right? They'll be happy to play with you. But are they ever going to be paying close attention to your production? Your production is going to be everything to your teammates, especially when you come in as an all-star. If you're not slugging goals and just slapping them home, your team's going to have a problem with you. Well, that's another reason why they bolstered their defense with Brady Skagey. 7 year, 49 million at 7 million a year. Predators are doing pretty darn good right now in this offseason. They got a lot of scoring talent. They already have Ryan O'Reilly. Let's see if they can get any other scoring talent. What can you bring down to Smash Town? This is how you excite a fan base. This is how you get people just hyped up beyond belief that your team is going to be able to compete. And not only is your team going to be able to compete, it's going to be able to compete at a high level, right? High level competition. Ooh, hopefully a mosquito didn't get in here. Yegor Sharangovich re-signs the Lightning for 5 years, $28.75 million at a 5.75 cap hit. So Sharangovich is obviously just trying to say like, hey, I want some stability in my life. I've done like decent for you. I know that you're like churning and burning everybody. You give me a little bit of money and I'll stay. Okay. Brossois probably went from the Winnipeg Jets, to the Blackhawks. 2 years at $2 million, or 2 years at $6.6 million, 3.3 a season. David Perron becomes a senator for 2 years at $8 million, $4 million a season. Kasperi Kapanen resigns with the Blues for an awful contract. Man, his career just exploded. He goes to the Penguins, does awful, and now he's just a shell. Arvidsson, 2 years with the Oilers. So the Oilers are getting players right now. The Oilers are finding players. They're making great moves. And I'm really impressed with the Oilers are able to do. Brandon Montour, he just won the Cup with the Florida Panthers, right? So Brandon Montour wins the Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers. And now he's all the way up to the Kraken at 7 years. What is that? $50 million cap hit at 7.14. That's a long time. That's a long time. I just have a feeling that the Kraken are still screwed, man. And maybe not screwed, but it's just like patient. It feels like they're screwed, but maybe it's just like, yeah, we're just being like ridiculously patient to the point to where people are screaming, please do something. So this Matt Waugh signed 6 years for $34.5 million, 5.75 cap hit with the Capitals. Capitals are doing a little bit different. They trade Darcy Kemper, their Stanley Cup winning goaltender, who just couldn't find a flow, just like Ovechkin. Let's be honest. Team's in a funk. So they sign a defender, see if they can keep the puck out of their net. Sean Monahan. Why is my screen keep doing that? Sean Monahan, 5 years, 27.5 at 5.50. So Sean Monahan over here the Blue Jackets, are they better off with picks? Are they better off with paying veterans? What's gonna help the Blue Jackets? I don't think anything's gonna help the Blue Jackets personally. I think the Blue Jackets are just stuck. Matt Murray resigns, yeah, 1 year. Jake DeBrusk leaves the Boston Bruins. 7 years, 38.5 at a $5.6 million cap hit with the Vancouver Canucks. So the Canucks make big things happen. I'm pretty impressed. The Bruins continue to lose players due to whatever cause at this point. Now they lost two play. They're just losing players. They're just losing players. Grizzlick signs with the Penguins. Chandler Stevenson leaves the Golden Knights and signs with the Kraken. 7 years, $43.75 million at a $6.25 million cap hit. Chandler Stevenson hoping to use his speed to get that puck. Golden Knights, that cap hit trick is funny when you make a push for the cup, but when you fall short, it's only gonna make you lose assets and piss off players. Dumba signs with the Dallas Stars for 2 years. Jason Zucker, a 1 year with the Sabres. Duclair goes to the New York Islanders over here. It was that 4 years at 14 for 3.5 mil. Maybe. So Duclair is gonna have to figure it out. I don't know if Duclair is gonna be able to be successful in the Islanders game plan and the way that the Islanders choose to compete. I don't know if he has it in him. Not at all. I'm thinking about this next one though, because like Anthony Duclair is a really interesting one for me because the Islanders, they just haven't done anything. They're just so slow right now. They feel so stagnant. They they just tread water. They just tread water. They've tried so many different players, it feels like, and it feels like they just don't go anywhere. What was the what was the guy from the Devils that they got a couple of years ago? And then they got John Gabriel Pajot, and it just felt like the Islanders, like Barzell, it feels like he just needs help. I don't know if it's the way that the Islanders play, because I know the Islanders like to play like this lockdown, shutdown style of hockey. They're okay to win by 1 or 2 goals. They're okay with that. And at this point, it's a real hard. It's a hard way to structure team around that, because if your team's struggling to score goals in the first place, I mean, if you can barely only get to 2 goals, That's a grind. That's a grind. So you just gotta be out there scoring goals. There's just no other conversation about it. You gotta score goals. Brett Pesce, he was a Hurricane, right? Signed with the Devils, 6 years, 33 million, 5.5. Devils making sure that blue line can just hold strong because they did get rid of Marino. Soupy goes to Detroit for a year, league minimum. Got bought out by the Maple Leafs. This is his last shot in the National Hockey League. Anthony Mantha, goodbye from the Golden Knights. Signs a very tiny bridge deal or just a 1 year. Keep me on your team. I'll do okay. Trade me at the deadline type deal. Pat Maroon stays in the league with the Blackhawks. Duhaime, formerly of the Wild, formerly of the Avalanche, now is a Capital for the next 2 years. $3.7 million cap hit at 1.85. Like we were talking earlier about Bouvillier. Brendan Dillon giving the Devils some grit. Martinic stays with his also beloved Hurricanes. Corey Perry says, run it back with the Oilers. We'll do it again. Slavkowski signs his big boy contract, 8 years, $60.8 million at $7.6 million cap hit. He's there to stay, and not only is he there to stay, you gotta do good now. You gotta be able to produce. That is all. That is it. DeSmith over here at the Stars, 3 years at $3 million. I think he was a Canuck. Now he's a Dallas Star. Alec Martinez from the Golden Knights to the Chicago Blackhawks, probably looking to get flipped at the deadline. $4 million 1 year. You say Stars, like we were talking earlier about the Predators. Predators just locking down so much talent in their team right now. They're going to be a team to watch. Matt Duchene stays with the Stars. He feels like he's got the capabilities. Then the Minnesota Wild, they're going to keep Middleton, so they're going to keep the size. And now they're going to do Boyd and lock up some of these other guys that I've never read in my life. So many Wild players. Wedgwood goes to the Predators. Copley stays with the Kings. Toffoli makes his way to the Sharkies. Signs a 4 year. He's like, you know what? I'm tired of getting moved to the deadline. Just keep me. Let me score as many goals as I can on this awful team. And let me raise the Celebrini kid. Goss is fair for 3 years at the Hurricanes. 9.6 mil, 3.2 mil. Not bad. Looking for a team that's made a good signing. Made a good signing. Which team around here has made a good sign? Jeff Skinner to the Oilers, so he got bought out by the Sabres. And they said, hey, go play for somebody else. And he's like, fine. He's all sad. I'd be sad too. TJ Brody, 2 years, 3.75 a year. Blackhawks, they're trying. Gergenson's at a 3 year for 8.5 a season. That's yikes. Golden Knights re-up on Hayden Korzak and Dorofeev, and grab Samsonov. Hedman chooses to stay with the Lightning, where Stamkos gets traded. Stamkos gets moved. Hedman stays. Their first overall pick, who they think is gassed, who they think that he can't do it, or that they think he's just going to end up becoming a one-way forward, where, yes, a lot of older forwards just don't skate as much. It's their younger forwards that are going to do the majority of the skating. And then you look at your medium-sized one. It's almost the same thing, right? So you just got to take that into consideration. Victor Hedman just choosing to stay at the team. Hopefully Jake Gensel works out well. Lilleberg staying with the Lightning for 2 years at 1.6 for $800,000 cap hit. Good decision. The not amazing Sebastian Aho signs with the Penguins. 2 years. Very tiny contract. Pavel Buchnevich is just saying, I want to be a Blue. 6 years, $48 million at $8 million a season. That's a huge contract. That's a ridiculously large contract. They must really believe in this guy. Who's going to wear the C next? Now, I like this. Cam Atkinson, he's going, you know what? I'm going to have a piece of chocolate. I want a piece of chocolate. But Cam Atkinson, he's signing with I almost said New Jersey Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning. Signing with the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's mint chocolates. I hope it's not awful. Or it's just old, moldy, and decayed. It's old, moldy, and decayed. La. It was open. This candy bar that I've never touched, it was open the entire time. Ah, a candy bar. Whatever. Yeah, so Cam Atkinson signs the Lightning. I have no idea where this is going. I don't know how prominent it's going to be. But at the same time, no, I don't think this is going to bloom for them. I don't think it's going to be very beneficial for them. Wow, that's it for the trades. Or no, the signings. And there weren't that many trades. I guess we'll can go from the back. Foxa finally leaves the Stars organization for nothing. Senators get rid of one of the Joseph brothers and a third for nothing. Penguins get rid of Riley Smith for 2 picks. Rangers get Riley Smith, Stanley Cup champion with the Vegas Golden Knights. Chychrun goes to the Washington Capitals from the Senators. Capitals still doing everything they can to try, man. Ottawa Senators are going to get a defenseman and a pick. Defenseman Nick Jensen. Small trade between the Canadiens and the Devils. Now, this was how Jake Ensel got to Tampa Bay Lightning. It was for a 3rd-round pick. And then they just extended him huge. Same with like Tanev. For a 7th-round pick and a dude. His signing rights. So these are just signing rights. So essentially they're saying to a team, they're saying, hey, this player's on an expiring contract. I'll trade you this dude's contract and now you can extend this player. So pretty much it was a player that was already talking to other organizations on a deal. They get traded to that team. They already know that. And then they extend their contract with that team. That's what a lot of those contract signings were, just extensions of like trade deadline contracts. Paul Cotter leaves the Vegas Golden Knights organization. Golden Knights get a goalie in Schmid and a right wing and a Holtz. I don't know if that's good. Vinny Lettieri leaves the Wild. I'm not sure how I feel about that one. They get this Laco guy in a fourth. I mean, they're both trading fourths, so I don't know, man. Logan Thompson leaves the Vegas Golden Knights for a third and a third. I don't know how I feel about that. Kevin Hayes just goes to the Penguins for free. The Blues get him, and they're like, nah, don't want it. Don't want it. I don't know, man. The Penguins are screwed. There's no other way to say it. No other way to say it. The Yeti got Marino and a 5th round pick for 2 seconds. Of course, the Yeti have picks on picks on picks, but this is where you make the Yeti are already effing up so bad it's annoying. Please don't Coyote. Please don't Coyote. Why are they effing up? If you're the Yeti, you keep those picks and you get a die-hard Yeti player. Welcome to the Yeti. We're a new expansion franchise, or we're a new franchise. Treat it as an expansion franchise, just with a team and a bunch of draft picks, so we're pretty much an expansion franchise. Come play for us. Make yourself a legend. We have a brand. There is no history. This team's starting. This is the first hockey game ever of this club, this organization. Prior management doesn't exist. There's no carrying any sort of anything. The league has the remnants of the Winnipeg Jets from the WHA, the Coyotes. Essentially, the Jets, of course, were like resold their like rights or something. They went back to the Winnipeg, but the Coyotes brand was resold back to the NHL again. And now you got the Yeti, who instead of drafting players that will be diehard Yeti players that will bleed for this club, and not to mention fans that will fall in love with those picks. Think about a fan that you're like, think about fans giggling on their way to college class. Or even when there's like, even after hockey practice, and they're like, yo, which one of these 6 second-round draft picks that we got this season do you think's going to cut it? I think this guy. No, I think this guy. And they're like, okay, well, let's watch it. All right, I'm down. Yeah, we'll have our game on Saturday. After that, we'll both go home, and after that, our parents hopefully will let us get together. Yeah, sounds great. Yeah. I could totally see that happening, but they're just gonna get rid of all. They're gonna turn and burn. They already did Sergachev. They're just gonna throw picks now. They're just gonna start throwing picks. They're gonna f up. But hey, you're not a Coyote no mo. Do whatever you want, Yeti. Do whatever you want. Tanner Jeannot finally leaving the Lightning organization for a 4th and a 2nd, so definitely nowhere near what they traded to get him. Wow, that was a sad trade to see for Tanner Jeannot. I wonder what happened. Like, you have to wonder when you look at how hard they hit with Brandon Hagel, and now you look at Tanner Jeannot and like, what if they would have hit with him? Imagine if they would have hit with him. The team would have been ridiculously. I think Stamkos would still be there, right? Sergachev would still be there. But that's another thing, though. Like, Sergachev just came back from major surgery. Maybe the Lightning just didn't trust that surgery. Think about it. You have a huge surgery that takes you out for most of the season. Come back for a couple games in the Stanley Cup playoffs and get thrashed, lose, and pack her up. You're done. Like, there had to have been something more. You gotta wonder what the Lightning are doing right now. I mean, they get a lot back for Sergachev. JJ Mosier, Geeky, which was like an 11th round so like a 1st round pick essentially, 11th round pick, first or 11th overall. Second round, 7th round. So you get a couple. You get JJ Mosier, who's been developing. Geeky, who's a maybe. His brother was not too great. And then a second and a seventh. So for Sergachev, could work out. Definitely could work out. No, I think that's it. That was most of the crazy stuff that happened over the weekend, over the week. A lot of trades popping off, a lot of players changing hands. Jake Ensel going to the Lightning. Huge deal. Jake DeBrusk going to the Canucks. You got Darcy Kemper going to the Kings. You just have a lot of different trades where so many players are going to have to fit in. And I don't know if they're going to be able to. Marchessault and Stamkos are going to make the Predators a fun team to watch. I'll tell you that. You're one talented pickup away of a team that's just going to be able to take off. What if the Predators just F around and somehow pick up Marner? Just go from a team that's like, kind of like middle of pack, not bad, just middle of pack. Then they just come out all guns blazing. That would be crazy. That would be insane. But that's going to do it for tonight, everybody. It's just a small stream, not a super long one. And I'm going to switch over here. And it's going to flip me upside down. I just know it. Yep. Hey, everybody. I'm flipped upside down. I'm flipped upside down. Down, wound. And I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. It doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good. Does not feel good. But now I'm bad yak. Now I'm bad yak. And I thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We really went over a lot of stuff that had to do with this huge free agency frenzy that just went on. A lot of big signings. We're going to see some more stuff to come. But it really feels like a lot of teams are already forming themselves. And I'll have to do a review overall of some of these teams and the way that they're going to look and the way that their seasons might be with some of these rosters. Some teams just still stuck in a cap crunch where you're just unable to do anything. Some teams are starting to use the resources that they've held back on using, and now they're sending stuff left and right and possibly just burning a lot of resources. We see teams that are churning, burning a lot of their important players that should have retired with their franchises. And I mean, retiring with a franchise is crazy now. It's such a crazy idea to think about retiring with a franchise anymore. I mean, Stamkos not being able to retire with the Lightning right now, like as an all-time Lightning. I mean, they did it before to their other picks, right? What was it, LeCavier? I think he played for some other teams. But having your first overall pick, especially your first overall pick, just stay with your team forever. I mean, it's not like the Lightning is turning into the Blackhawks, where Kane and Taves were just holding the team together with duct tape and just watching it they just had nothing left in that team. They were just getting thrashed. They couldn't do it no more. It was only them. They couldn't do it no more. And I think it shows a lot when the team can't do anything for you, right? The team's unwilling to pay money or get rid of players or to do anything to fill in all of these gaps. And it felt like that's what the Blackhawks were kind of did, and maybe they got stuck as well. But things happen, and with certain franchises, you're at where you're at sometimes. Sometimes you can't do anything, or sometimes you inherit, right? Maybe you come in as the next GM, and now people are gonna hold you accountable for something you didn't do, or be like, well, let's see how he maneuvers this. But at the same time, like you outthink the situation, or you outsource, you can be known as a hero. So a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different ways that this free agency went. I had a great time talking it over with you folks. Like I said, even though the Stanley Cup Finals are done, even though hockey is not in the main season, doesn't mean we ain't talking hockey. Kagan's still going to keep coming back. We're still going to keep finding days to talk hockey. If you haven't subscribed, if you haven't hit that notification bell, you got to do that. You got to support me. You got to be here. Come on now. Step up now. Step your game up. Step your game up. Nonetheless, this is Week Kagan. Thanks for watching tonight. I'll see you at the next stream where we talk more hockey.